I think like a Silicon Valley entrepreneur. Failure is a great teacher. At the same time, you must remember, success will never last. Whether it's tech or fashion, it must be for the customer. It is a paradox of the acquisitive society in which we now live that although private morals are regulated by law, the entrepreneur is allowed considerable freedom to use, and abuse, the public in order to make money. The life purpose of the true social entrepreneur is to change the world. Any entrepreneur worth their salt knows that their brand is worthless if it doesn't somehow contribute to society or the overall good of the planet. I think if you're an entrepreneur, you've got to dream big and then dream bigger. It's the combination, big idea with a good entrepreneur, there's nothing more powerful. Russia is an amazing country to be an entrepreneur. The trend in entrepreneurship is up, but an entrepreneur's ability to hire is down. There is a lot of interest in the arts, music, theater, filmmaking, engineering, architecture and software design. I think we have now transitioned the modern-day version of the entrepreneur into the creative economy. Many people dream about being an entrepreneur, starting their own business, working for themselves, and living the good life. Very few, however, will actually take the plunge and put everything they've got into being their own boss. The link between my experience as an entrepreneur and that of a politician is all in one word: freedom. Unstructured play gives kids the space they need to tinker and take risks, both vital for the budding entrepreneur. I would say, as an entrepreneur, everything you do, every action you take in product development, in marketing, every conversation you have, everything you do, is an experiment. If you can conceptualize your work not as building features, not as launching campaigns, but as running experiments, you can get radically more done with less effort. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a young mogul. I'm blessed. I'd rather invest in an entrepreneur who has failed before than one who assumes success from day one. I'm an entrepreneur. This is my life. This my career. This the way I eat. Becoming an entrepreneur was the furthest thing from my mind. I actually had an identity crisis when I realized I had become one. It's a common misconception that money is every entrepreneur's metric for success. It's not, and nor should it be. It takes courage to be an entrepreneur. My advice for any entrepreneur or innovator is to get into the food industry in some form so you have a front row seat to what's going on. The art of delegation is one of the key skills any entrepreneur must master. You have to respect your parents. They are giving you an at-bat. If you're an entrepreneur and go into the family business, you want to grow fast. Patience is important, but respect the other party. My dad and I pulled it off because we really respect each other. I am not a politician. I'm an American businessman and entrepreneur that have built 2 businesses, and I try to play it straight with people. My son is now an entrepreneur. That's what you're called when you don't have a job. The most dangerous thing for an entrepreneur to do is to actually go into a business that he does not understand fully. To some extent, being an entrepreneur is a lonely journey. From my very first day as an entrepreneur, I've felt the only mission worth pursuing in business is to make people's lives better. In the journey of an entrepreneur, the most important thing is self-belief and the ability to convert that belief into reality. If you can't admit a failure, you're not an entrepreneur. You are not a good business person. There's nothing brilliant about what you are doing. Past success is no guarantee of future success, so I have learned to be an entrepreneur. I began to produce and direct my own projects. But as an entrepreneur you have to feel like you can jump out of an aeroplane because you're confident that you'll catch a bird flying by. It's an act of stupidity, and most entrepreneurs go splat because the bird doesn't come by, but a few times it does. Today's developer is a poor substitute for the committed entrepreneur of the last century for whom the work of architecture represented a chance to celebrate the worth of his enterprise. I never went to college, but the structure I grew up with was planted so deep that when it came to doing business, I knew how to be disciplined, create teamwork, and persevere. It set me up to be an entrepreneur and a successful franchisor. The key to being a good manager or a good entrepreneur is to pick the right people. Pick the right people, and they'll make you look good. That will never work is my chance to share all the secrets I've accumulated in a 40 years career as an entrepreneur, secrets that can help anyone turn their dream into a reality. I've been an entrepreneur and venture capitalist in the cryptocurrency industry for a long time, working with numerous projects. I am excited to join the Workday board at an exciting time in the company's growth and look forward to leveraging my past experience as a technologist and entrepreneur to provide advice as they continue to look at new areas of growth. As an entrepreneur, I've come across countless articles and quotes proudly telling me that I should accept failure, smile, and keep my head up. In other words, I've been told to stay positive. The thing is, when you're forced to shut down a business and let really awesome people you care about go, staying positive is the last thing on your mind. It's not easy for an entrepreneur to find the time to blog, but for those who do it, it is a great tool to communicate with the various stakeholders in their business and build a reputation for thought leadership. Being an entrepreneur is a mindset. You have to see things as opportunities all the time. I like to do interviews. I like to push people on certain topics. I like to dig into the stories where there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. A person who sees a problem is a human being, a person who finds a solution is visionary, and the person who goes out and does something about it is an entrepreneur. Kim Kardashian's marriage to Kris Humphries famously lasted 72 days, and was reported in the tabloids as being all about the big bucks paid by magazines for the bridal photos. It is a spectacle of a bride-to-be as entrepreneur, not as romantic heroine. The groom, in this scenario, is nothing but a prop. Honesty and integrity are by far the most important assets of an entrepreneur. About 10 million people start a business each year, and about 1 out of 2 will make it. The average entrepreneur is often on his or her third startup. Sleeping at night is not a specialty of entrepreneurs. The entrepreneur who is sleeping soundly, something bad is happening to that person, they just don't know it's happening yet. I'm actually proud of myself that I was able to grow in a positive way. I didn't stay stagnant. I grew as an entrepreneur. I grew as a woman of substance. I truly found my voice, right on television. I found my way. Mark Lohr has been a mentor of mine for a long time. He taught me how to hire people and how to do the hardest thing in business, which is to make a great culture. I believe Mark is the most innovative and ambitious e-commerce entrepreneur on the planet. I consider myself an inventor first and an entrepreneur second. In real life, my hero is Thomas Edison. He was a great inventor, but also an outstanding entrepreneur who was able to sell his inventions to the masses. He didn't just develop the light bulb, he invented the entire electric grid and power distribution system. As counterintuitive as it sounds, speed to fail should be every entrepreneur's motto. Success isn't born wholly formed like Venus from a clamshell, it's developed through relentless trial and error. To have real success and roots in a society, there has to be a local champion, and hence we believe in identifying a local entrepreneur. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.